So if meningitis can't spread, what is it right now that's going around the UK giving all these people symptoms? Let's compare this to COVID and let's see if we can spot the pattern recognition. At the start of COVID, we were told that the people who were suffering from it were those who were immunocompromised, the elderly and the hospital frontline workers, or hospital staff in general. What did that group of people have in common? Simple, the flu vaccine gets pushed on them. Hospital workers are encouraged to take the flu vaccine, the immunocompromised are encouraged to take the flu vaccine, and the elderly are encouraged to take the flu vaccine. The first people exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19 were the people who had previously been vaccinated the winter before. I want you to remember that there is no actual contagion. Well, there is, we'll get to that in a minute, but it's certainly not germs. What we initially look at is that people are just getting diagnosed from vaccine injury. Vaccine injury encompasses all injuries, by the way. Any symptom that you start to experience after being shot full of poison, you cannot categorically state that it was not as a result of being shot with that poison, no matter how many weeks or months ago it was. So if we, again, to look at COVID, those were the first people who were dropping with symptoms, that same group who'd had the flu vaccine pushed on them. We've now had it confirmed in the media that those that have died from this recent meningitis outbreak were indeed fully vaccinated. Let's remember that vaccines don't stop in childhood. They are given to teenagers in schools, and all university students are encouraged to have all their immunisations up to date before they start university. And let's not remember that all vaccines, every single one, contain documented neurotoxins and carcinogens. So if we are to look at the pattern recognition from COVID, the people that are now dropping down dead or collapsing with symptoms or getting hospitalised are those that are fully vaccinated. What then went on to happen, no doubt, again with COVID and now with this meningitis outbreak, is that the moment people started exhibiting symptoms, so they started to have a fever or they started to feel lethargic, they started to take over-the-counter medications like paracetamol and ibuprofen, which, as I keep stating like a broken record, depletes glutathione in the body. These initial symptoms you were exhibiting was actually your body trying to move back into a place of wholeness after it had been poisoned. People then started to hijack that process by taking over-the-counter medications. By the time you got to hospital, either with COVID-19 or with meningitis, you were already in an absolute overload state of toxicity, not to mention all the over-counter medications that you've been taking, which have been massively depleting glutathione, which was actually trying to move your body back into a state of completion. So let's keep the COVID-19 comparison going, and now let's look at the media reporting, and let's look at the true contagion. As I've already said, you are 1 trillion cells of bacteria. You are a microcosm of bacteria existing in a macrocosm of bacteria. Bacteria is not something to fear. It's certainly not a contagion. What is a contagion, however, is energy. And the media knows this. Remember that to visualise anything, all you need to do is feel the emotion attached to the outcome while visualising the outcome. Again, the media knows this. And so when you read these articles that you feel fear in your heart with, while visualising the worst possible outcome of all manner of symptoms, you can actually manifest symptoms. Ordinarily, symptoms that you've manifested by focusing on them, you can actually get rid of them by doing the exact reverse, by imagining yourself well and whole. But that doesn't happen when you're getting fed fear propaganda. What happens instead is you start to exhibit the symptom that you've been reading about, and you move into a massive state of panic, actually giving yourself what's known in the 5 biological laws as a conflict shock. Your body will of course try to heal from that conflict shock, but if you're so far down the road where you perceive every single symptom that your body is exhibiting as something that could harm you and that needs medicating, then you're going to find yourself on a bit of a hamster wheel. So once more, we are not seeing an outbreak of meningitis in the UK. What we are seeing is cumulative vaccine damage and then the detox protocols afterwards getting massively hindered. You don't need to be suffering from iatrogenic harm in the hospital. You can be self-administering it. So I really do hope that this manages to dispel some of the fear. Oh, and before you jump in the comments asking for my qualifications, my son was vaccine injured 21 years ago. Why did I rush to get him vaccinated? Because I was massively paranoid of viruses, bacteria and things like meningitis. Which is why I've spent the last 15 years doing nothing but research, viruses and vaccines. Oh, I also went to university and studied broadcast journalism, so I am an expert in how the media works.